Ladies and gentlemen, here's your EIDL loan update for September 10th, 2020. In this video, I'm going to show you leaked internal SBA emails revealing secret criteria that SBA loan officers use to determine whether the agency will approve your application for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. An independent, nonpartisan government oversight group called POGO, the Project on Government Oversight, obtained emails that Small Business Administration staff leaked to this organization, revealing certain eligibility criteria that Small Business Administration loan officers use to classify applications as fraudulent or approve economic injury disaster loan applications. So unlike our government leaders, we do not drag our feet or lollygag in this channel. Therefore, let's get right into it. But first, let me tell you about my broken thumb. Now, we know better. Here it is. On July 31st, 2020, the PDC Application Processing Department in Kingsport 1 sent this email to another department in the Small Business Administration listing some eligibility criteria for franchises and some updates to the software that Small Business Administration uses to review applications for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So basically, you have to note the following key changes. First, for franchises, there's a new supplemental directory, the SBA franchise ODA only brands, that has been created and is attached. The supplemental directory lists businesses deemed eligible for ODA, the Office of Disaster Assistance, but not for 7A or 504 programs, which include economic injury disaster loans, because they are landlords deriving their income from rental property. For example, My Salon Suite leases hair, nail salon space to individual stylists. When searching for a franchise, both directories should be reviewed. So the Small Business Administration staff has to review the franchise directory before approving loans for franchises. If the franchise is listed on the directory and indicates why under the SBA Addendum Form 2462 column, the executed franchise agreement and addendum must be obtained prior to loan approval. Allow the applicant 7 days to provide the document. So if you look at the franchise directory, if you look under the column labeled SBA Addendum Form 2462, if the franchise that you operate has a Y under that column, then as a franchise owner, you have to produce the executed franchise agreement and addendum within 7 days' time. All 20% or more shareholders, partners, members, and general partners should be on the loan. If not, request Virus EIDL application SBA Form 3501 from each. Allow the applicant 7 days to provide the documents. So everyone who owns at least 20% of your business has to be on the loan. Otherwise, then you have to update your application with SBA Form 3501, and you have 7 days to provide that documentation. Whenever, as I said on previous videos, whenever loan officers or any SBA staff member request documentation, go ahead and produce it right away. Make their head spin because you produced it so fast. Because the faster that they can get to it, that they can review that document, the faster they can get the funds out to you. In addition to last night's Rapid Decision software release, Rapid Decision software is the software that Small Business Administration uses to approve and process applications for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Other updates include the following. New info message displays when the tax ID type entered by the applicant doesn't correspond to the entity type, SSN or EIN. The Approve Obligate buttons will be disabled until the tax ID type in the application is corrected. So your Social Security number or your employer ID number that you obtain from the IRS has to match the entity type of your business. Otherwise, the Small Business Administration loan officer will not have the option available to either put the loan in the approval or obligating process of the application. Users now see notes to track obligating, funding, withdrawal, and reactivating attempts made by the system. See attached training guide. So now staff members, through the notes, see whether the loan is actually in the obligating, funding, withdrawal, or reactivating process or phase of the loan in the application process, ladies and gentlemen. So you know that when you contact these staff members, that they should know as to what phase the application is currently in the processing of the loan. On August 14th, again, the same department out in Kingsport sent an email in regards to the calculation of the gross economic loss. Basically the calculation that the Small Business Administration uses to determine how much of an economic injury disaster loan you qualify for. Due to the widespread presence of fraudulent applications effective immediately, all virus applications that display the following message, info message, gross economic loss is 0 or negative, must be declined. We will no longer be sending a 7-day letter to request an updated SBA form 3502. So prior to this, if the calculation that the Small Business Administration uses to determine how much of a economic injury disaster loan for which you qualify, if that number equates to 0 or a negative number, then they decline. They automatically decline the application. Prior to that, prior to August 14th, when the Kingsport Department, the PDC Application Processing Kingsport Department, send this email, the Small Business Administration would send out a letter, a 7-day letter to request an updated SBA form 3502 so applicants could go ahead and correct it. The way that the Small Business Administration calculates how much of an economic injury disaster loan you qualify for, they basically take your gross revenues, they subtract the cost of goods sold from the gross revenues, and then they divide that difference by 2, and they subtract the amount of grant that your small business received, and then that will be the amount of loan for which you qualify. So for instance, your gross revenue was at $100,000, your cost of goods is $50,000, therefore they would subtract $50,000 from $100,000, which give you $50,000. Then you would divide the $50,000 by 2, and then you will get $25,000 as a difference, and they will subtract the amount of grant that the Small Business Administration dispersed to you. Let's say they dispersed $1,000, therefore you will qualify for an economic injury disaster loan of $24,000. Let me know if that's unclear in the comment section below. And subscribe if you haven't done so as yet, because I'm going to list more eligibility criteria that the Small Business Administration reveals through these internal SBA documents. And as per previous videos, I've been able to obtain other documents that SBA staff has leaked that has revealed more qualification and criteria that determines whether you are eligible for an economic injury disaster loan. Applicants certified their gross revenue cost of goods sold figures as accurate at the time the application was originally submitted. If those figures result in no eligibility, loan officer action is to decline the loan. So decline the loan. And some additional notes read, loan officers should inform the applicant of the decline reason. No eligibility based on the information certified at the time the application was submitted. Enter comments in notes. Again, they would go ahead and update their rapid decision software that we spoke about on the previous email, and they would say the notes would read why the loan officer declined the loan, explain the reconsideration process, and advise the applicant they will need to address the reason for the decline. Applicants have 6 months to request reconsideration, must be in writing. So the loan officer has to tell you why that the Small Business Administration declined the loan and explain the reconsideration process, how you can appeal that decision. You as an applicant has 6 months in order to reapply, in order to file this reconsideration. Applicants will be required to provide us with the 2019 or most recently filed income tax return along with a signed IRS form 4506T. Upon any reconsideration request, the 4506T will be used to request tax transcripts with accurate information directly from the IRS. So a number of people have asked whether the Small Business Administration will request 4506T. Yes, they do. I have submitted about 3 4506T forms to the Small Business Administration to give them the authorization to yank a tax transcript. Therefore, they can avoid processing a fraudulent application by retrieving the information on your tax return directly from the IRS and comparing it with the tax return that you produce for them when you file for a reconsideration request. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, subscribe right now, because in part 2 of this video, I'm going to share even more emails revealing secret criteria that SBA loan officers use to determine whether they will approve your application for the economic injury disaster loan. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Watch this video right here for more stimulus and economic injury disaster loan and advanced coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button to stay on top of my findings. We report what no one else will, mobilize like no one else will, and stop at nothing until each and every one of you is fully funded with all the monetary ammunition you need to save and feed your families, save your business, keep your employees on payroll, and ultimately save this country, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.